So is the hype really real? This is the new series by Hasbro for Star Wars under the Black Series title. So Star Wars The Black Series Hyper Real. This is a more premium figure. It's a higher cost with more premium materials and a bigger scale, 8 to 9 inches tall. Not a lot of collectors out there collect 9-inch figures, but we shall see how these stack up and if they're really 9 inches or 8 inches or what size are they exactly. We're going to find out in this video. So let's dive into this hyper real Darth Vader, the first release in this series, to see how far it goes. It could end here, it could keep going. I know they have a Luke in the works, but it all depends on how well the line does. So if you guys are interested in this figure, links are down below where you guys can purchase this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Make sure to check that out. So the box itself is very nice. For being such an expensive figure, I think it retails for $80. This is pretty much the Mezco Collective 112 Collective series of Hasbro, because the $80 price tag, it relates to the Mezco price tag. So this is a seamless articulated figure. No seams, you can't see anything visibly on the figure. We'll dive into that in a second. I'm getting sidetracked. The package. We're on the package right now, and it's very cool. It's a really big box. It's bigger than what you would expect. I didn't expect it to be as big. So it caught me off guard. It caught me by surprise. But I love the design of it. On the front, you see the character. So we have Darth Vader, and then on the very side we have a window showing the figure right here. Of course, we're gonna get some glare from the lighting and all that, so you're not really gonna see it, but in person it's really cool, and it's got some Velcro, so it does open up and it displays the full figure right here in front of you guys. And then on the side we get the accessories. We get the other hands that he comes with, so you can pose them with different hands. But the whole display, the whole setup, the entire packaging is very nice for a collector. So any collectors out there that like package and likes to keep figures in boxes, this is a very nice design for you guys. So it pains me a little bit to open it up, but it has to be done. As for the other sides of the box, this is the back side here, and you can see pretty standard stuff. You see that they're just showing off what it's made of inside. The metallic endoskeleton is what they call it. But enough of the box, we're here for the figure, so let's open it up and check it out. Man, the feel of this figure when you get them out the box is definitely something that you're not used to, especially if you're collecting Hasbro Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black Series for all these years. You can definitely feel the quality in the figure when you pick them up, when you take them out the box, and when you articulate the joints, especially, you can tell it's made of metal. There's a metal endoskeleton inside. They showed it off in one of the conventions. It's literally just bars of metal inside. If you were to rip open the figure, it's just metal, and you can really feel it. It's really tight. The joints are really tight. They're really hard, much harder to articulate than a plastic figure. So it will definitely hold the pose. It will definitely hold all the joints, and you could feel the quality in your hands. So at least it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it's a piece of crap. It feels like it's expensive. So there is that. I can say that. Now, that being said, unfortunately for me, with my particular figure, as soon as I got him out the box, his shoulder pad on the right side came right off, and it looks like it's only glued onto the top of that piece on his chest. So I'm just gonna have to glue that back. It's not a peg or anything, and I can see the glue there. The other one, I pulled on it and it did not come off, so that one's still there. So this one probably just didn't get enough glue coming out the factory. So it could be just a little error in terms of the amount of glue that they put on. It just wasn't enough and it came right off. But hopefully this is not an issue with everybody, because it's definitely not something you want to see when you're investing more money into a more premium figure, especially a new line that Hasbro's trying to put out. So it only took a few seconds to glue that back on, and now we're back to normal. So we do get several hand gestures, several hand accessories. That's the most that we get. We do get an effect piece and his lightsaber, of course, and we want to include that little base he comes with. that too. Could this be a buildable thing they do? That could be a good idea, you know, if they keep on adding in figures in the line, we can make a little round circle base where you can display all of them in a circle. I don't know, something would be cool like that. But let's get into the accessories of the figure. First and foremost, we have some hands. So on the figure itself, looks like we have a fist on the right hand, right here. And then on the left hand, we have an open hand, which is to grip that lightsaber. So alternate hands include, for the left hand, we have a fist too. So now we can have two fists, one on the left, one on the right. On the left hand, we have a pointing finger. And then on the left hand, also a open hand. So these cannot articulate on the wrist, as you can see already. They're already pre-posed. You cannot swivel them, you can't hinge it, you can't do anything like that. That's quite interesting. On the right hand, we get another gripping hand. So the one on the figure is the left hand. So now you can hold the lightsaber either in the left or right hand. We also do get another pointing finger hand. And then this looks very similar, but it's not. This is a force choke hand right there, so you can choke somebody. And then an extra right hand, we have a open palm right here. Looks like he is using force to maybe blow somebody away. And this is where the effect comes into play. So this is the effect. I'm assuming this is an effect piece for the force. This is a force effect, even though you don't really see anything when they use the force, but to just emphasize that, I guess, in figure form, this is what they gave us, and I'm okay with this. You see there's a peg and there's a handprint on there. Hopefully you can see the handprint. So the hand will perfectly align there, and voila, there you go. So there's that, and then last but not least, we have the lightsaber. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the actual base piece, because we didn't really take a look at it. There's a bunch of pegs at the bottom here, and I noticed this thing slides out too. So I just feel like they got something up their sleeves. I don't know if maybe they announced something and I don't know about it, but these pegs are for something. Maybe we'll be able to build something in the future. We got some pegs here too, or peg holes, you should say. Alright, so let's dive into this thing. Check it out. This is a little up close shot, and you can just see how they captured that almost screen accuracy there with the gloss of his helmet. That gloss is not present in that 6-inch action figure, so it's nice to see it here. I can see a lot of nice shots, you know, pictures taken by the community with this figure, just using the reflection off his armor or his helmet, and it looks good. They really did a good job with that aspect of it. We got cloth goods fabric for the cape. That's nothing too crazy. We've seen that with a 6-inch figure. It's nothing I haven't felt before, so it's not like it's a material that is super expensive or anything. But the main part that we'll see here is the seamless body, the seamless rubbery, I guess, under the armor area of his costume or suit. So the arms, the legs, behind the fabric here, the torso, everything, you feel this rubbery material. And if you have purchased any of the seamless body female or male figures that have come out of China, I think it feels just the same way. And I think Hot Toys uses that material for their figures too, whenever they made the Hulk, or I think when they did Wonder Woman, for the skin they made that seamless rubbery material. So that's the same thing here, and it feels good. You know, it's kind of weird, but it articulates just fine. You can just see how sturdy this thing is. The joint is it's not bending with the whole entire weight of this figure. You know, I'm holding it from the shins, and it's not bending there, so it will hold every pose. And just to articulate him, it's very, very tough because it's made of metal. So you, like I mentioned before in the video, you really feel it when you articulate the figure. So my only concern, or fear I should say, is, as I've seen with some people that have owned some of the Hot Toys figures, the rubbery material does, you know, get worn over time. And I've seen horror pictures of people's Hot Toys seamless body figures. The rubber just starts cracking and peeling, and that's just a scary thing to see on your expensive figure that you just purchased. So hopefully over time this will age well and it won't do that. Who knows, maybe if you articulate him like crazy over time it might wear out. I don't know. I can't really say, but it feels really nice. I can say that. It's not something I'm used to because I don't really own a lot of figures that have the seamless material. And then you can also feel it on the top of the shoe, which is kind of crazy. The rubbery material, and on the back of the shin guards too. I do just want to get a little bit closer for you guys, just because it's a new figure and it's a new line. I just want to show it up close for those of you that aren't willing to shell out the $80, so you are able to see it up close and see what it looks like. So the detail in terms of paint job is nice. I like all the buttons colored. I like the details there. Everything's pretty fairly clean. It's Darth Vader, so you're not going to get a lot of colors on him anyways, but where it needs color, it's there. And then you can kind of pick up the texture on the fabric, on the rubbery material. And then there's the plastic hand. The groin guard, I guess you want to call that. You can see some texture there too. There is the back. And then the shin guards. So this glossy plastic definitely can scratch over time, and that is present on the helmet. This came out of package like this. So the helmet, if we see up close, you can see some of the scratches right there. And that's how it came out of the package. So that's unfortunate too, and it may turn some people off, and I understand that completely. But, when you get glossy paint like that, that's what's going to happen. I guess you can say it's more realistic that way, because if you had a glossy helmet just like that, they will scratch just like that, and that's how it would look in real life. That makes you feel better, then you can say that. Just really inspecting the figure just close up, you do find some quality control issues. This is their first time doing this, so it's to be expected. It's not going to be perfect. And something I did pick up on, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it in the camera, but you can see there on the glare right here, just like an excess amount of paint dried right there in that area. So you just see a little lump of paint, and it's just a matter of maybe it painted too much on that spot and it dried there. Like I said, you really got to look at it hard. But in terms of like maybe paint chipping or paint bleeding, that's not present. I don't see that anywhere on the figure, so that's a good sign. Alright, let's articulate this bad boy. So the head is gonna swivel left and right. It can actually go 360 degrees if you want it to. So there's that. It's on a ball joint, a metal ball joint to be more specific. He will look up somewhat, but it's nothing crazy. But you can get a glance up. That's not bad right there. Like he's looking at like a X-wing or a Y-wing passing by. And we can have him look down too a little bit. So not too bad. I wish he'd look down a little bit more, but that's okay. In terms of a tilt, he can head tilt a little bit. And then the arms are going to go forward. So this is where it gets a little tough because of the metal joints. They go forward about that far. Not too bad. And you can see here where it starts stretching the rubber. And it gets scary. Who knows, that could split open over time. I don't know. So hopefully it doesn't, but I don't think you would want to pose his arm that high up anyways. So in and out, and you can just kind of tell through the video how hard it is to move the metal joints. So again, the whole figure holds the weight just off the arm there. So nice tight joints. It would be a pain in the butt if the joints were loose. Metal loose joints is not a good mix. So that's cool. In terms of a bicep swivel, I'm sure it has one, but I really can't tell because of the fact that if I swivel it, the entire rubber piece is going to swivel too. So I guess it really doesn't matter. We have a double jointed elbow, I guess. Here, let's try to do this one too. Yeah, it pretty much is a double joint. Look at that. It touches the bicep. The forearm touches the bicep. And that's as far as you can go with any arm. So that's good. It does swivel at the elbow too. And it looks like it might have a bicep swivel too. But again, it's not like you can tell anyways. The entire arm is seamless. so it looks like this at all times. So technically the wrist does swivel, but when you attempt to swivel it while the arm is on or while the hand is on, you can see it sliding back into the position it was slightly. Kinda, you see that, how it jumps back? So I found the best way to do it, which may turn off some people, but you literally pop it off and then put it into the position you want. So if you want to do it this way where his hand is facing forward, then pop it in like that and it'll be forward. If you want to do it to the hand is sideways, or maybe you can see the top of the hand instead, then do it this way. So that way you don't have to turn it and have it go back like that. As you see, it does turn. See, I went to the bottom of the hand. Now if I want to go to the top, there you go, and now I'm on the top. So there is that, but you're also twisting the entire rubber piece too. So it's up to you how you want to do it. I feel like that's going to wear out that rubber more if you do it that way. So I'm just going to pop it off. Now he does have some torso articulation. It doesn't exactly have like a diaphragm joint or an ab crunch, but he's got like a little metal ball joint at the torso, so you can kind of bend them back and forward. You just don't want to go too much because it will pop off, similar to like an SH figure. It pops off in the torso and it can pop right back in, but if you pop it off, it's going to be a pain because it just misaligns all the fabric and you gotta align it back up and tuck it in and out. So I wouldn't recommend popping it off. But with that said, he does have a waist swivel, so you can swivel the waist, and now you can kick the legs forward. So you can kick it forward about this far right here, and you can put that back down, and you can kick it to the side about that far right here. And if you were trying to attempt to do a split, this could get a little scary because obviously it's stretching the groin rubber piece, and I feel like that could possibly split in half one day. And could you imagine that just splitting open? That would suck. And then we have, I guess you can say it's like a double jointed knee, but you get a good 90-degree bend at the knee. Kinda, yeah, it does swivel actually. It doesn't kinda, it actually does swivel at the knee like you need it, but there is that. So you have a shin swivel at the knee. The ankle will go forward and back. It does have a rocker pretty nicely right there, and it's all one piece of rubber too, so it doesn't break at all. It's all seamless. We do get a swivel at the ankle, although the rubber will kind of push it back a little bit, similar to the wrist. And that's it. We don't get like a toe articulation or anything. So, alright, so exactly how tall is this Darth Vader? If I get my measuring tape here, he is at exactly 9 inches tall. So I am assuming that maybe the other characters like Luke Skywalker, or if they were to make a Han Solo, they would be around the 7 to 8 inch range, probably closer to 8. I'm definitely thinking that because Vader is a taller figure or taller character, that they made him 9 inches tall. Hopefully that is the case, because it would be kind of weird if we were to get every single character at 9 inches exactly and they would all stay in the same height and they wouldn't be in scale with each other. So hopefully that's not the case, but that's just my guess. I think only Vader's going to be about that tall, which would make sense. Now we're going to bring in the Black Series 6-inch Vader. This is the newest release, which is the A New Hope version, I think it was. The one that came out in the red and black box. And this is your 6-inch Black Series figure, and that's how he scales. So as you see, they both sport the cloth goods pretty much at the same areas that that the 9-inch version has it. So we got the little smaller skirt within, the outer cape, and then the drapes over the torso fabric as well. The only thing is of course we don't have the seamless rubber on the 6-inch figure, and the glossiness of the helmet is not there for this 6-inch version. Alright, let's keep the comparisons going. We're going to throw in a Marvel Legends Iron Patriots from the Endgame Thor Build-A-Figure wave. This stands about maybe 7 inches tall because it's a bigger figure than most other. But of course nowhere near the size of this Hyper-Real Vader. Next to a more average size Marvel Legend, this is Cyclops sporting that Bucky Cat mode that most of Legends are made out of, and that's how he stacks up. Next to a Mezco 112 Collective Cyclops, he's a little taller than the Legends version, but still no match for the Hyper-Real 9-inch. Here we have an SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z figure. This is Gohan, and there he is next to the Storm Collectibles Mike Tyson figure. I'm gonna throw in the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Super Broly figure. This is the regular form of Broly. So if we put in the full power Broly, which is a bigger figure, let's see if he can match the height. He can get close to the height. If you count the hair, he's about the same height as that Vader. And then here is the non-canon version of Broly. Again, the hair does stand a little taller than Vader, but the actual head-to-head height, Vader's still taller. Alright, so all in all, I think the Hyper-Real Darth Vader figure is a pretty good looking figure. It photographs very well, it looks good on camera. So it's gonna, like I mentioned earlier, it's gonna give you some nice shots. It photographs very nice. And it looks good on your shelf. Like display wise, it's a nice display piece for a hardcore Star Wars collector. They're gonna probably want this in their collection because it just looks very nice. This is like a miniature, kind of miniature Hot Toys figure. I never owned the Hot Toys Darth Vader, so I can't speak on how it compares next to this. I'm sure it's way better than this, but I would say that it's a mini Hot Toys Vader. I don't know. Somebody prove me wrong in the comments if I'm wrong. But it looks really good. It's definitely leagues ahead than the 6-inch Vader. But for 20 bucks, that 6-inch Vader is a good figure too. So definitely, it depends on your price range. If you're really willing to fork out $80 for this line of 9 to 8-inch figures, I definitely see it being for the hardcore Star Wars collector, because the casual collector is just going to go for that 6-inch line. But definitely if you're a big Vader fan especially, this is a nice piece to have in your collection. All in all, it's a beautiful looking figure, and it's something that if you would not have told me, or if I would have not known, I probably wouldn't have guessed that Hasbro made this. It seems like something that another company would have made that is not Hasbro. So this coming from Hasbro is actually very surprising and very nice to see. You can definitely see that they have the capability of producing some high-end premium figures whenever they have the money to do so, or they're able to charge you that higher price tag for what you're paying. That being said though, I wish it came with a little bit of extra fun, like maybe an unmasked head. Why didn't they throw in a removable helmet, or maybe a separate alternate head with the Vader face exposed? That would have been cool. Just something a little extra like that, or maybe even light up features for that torso piece. Not something completely necessary. I think I would prefer an unmasked head more than the lights. But definitely an unmasked head is a missed opportunity. If anything, I would be willing to trade the effect piece and the base if it meant that I could have a unmasked head, because even the 6-inch line got the unmasked head treatment, so why couldn't the Hyper-Real get it, you know? Alright, that's it. I think I've said everything that has to be said about the figure. I hope I helped you guys out in taking a look at the Hyper-Real Vader and really giving you a good insight and a good review on this figure, this new line. Alright, enough talking. I've talked long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, may the Force be with you. Bye.
It's a trap!